Hey guys, it's you from Polygon Motion and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to create a very nice minimal quad title like this in After Effects. You see very cool animations and also lines and different kinds of things, different kinds of elements in this quad title, and you can use it for social media, for Instagram or anything else. And also keep in mind that you have to download Animation Composer plugin for After Effects. It's a free plugin for After Effects that most of the artists, most of the motion graphic artists, After Effects users are using this plugin, this free plugin, to speed up their workflow. So make sure to install Animation Composer. And if you don't know where to download, just go to mrars.tv. I just put the download link on the description and make sure to install that. And let's jump into After Effects and start creating our tile. So for this, I have just already copied this text from this composition. You can just type it down, and also don't forget to have Lake Gothic font installed on your computer. You can download it from the link that I've put on the screen. It's for free. Make sure to install that because we are using this font on other titles too. So I've just copied this one, and let's and also let me show you guys the composition settings: Full HD, 30 frames per second, and 5 second of duration. So let's pre-comp this text, call this main title, and let's close this one as well, and go to this composition, and we want size of this composition to be in exact same size of this text. So just choose a region of interest. You can do it manually by in composition setting, but this technique is a great technique to just do it automatically and draw a region around the text. Go to composition and crop comp to region of interest. Now you have your comp in the exact same size as your text. So now we have our main title. Let's type the name of the artist. Just take Steve Jobs, and also change the title to Lake Gothic, and also maybe just add a little bit, shrink down this one, and just pre-comp this, and do the same thing like before, and crop comp to region of interest. Now we have our titles, the main tiles. So now let's just unvisible them and start designing our lines. So what I'm going to do for lines is to start drawing a rectangle shape like this and put it in the center. Check off the fill, and let's have a little bit of stroke in here. And what I'm going to do in here is just go to rectangle path and convert this to Bezier path. Now we can edit this vertices in here, and we can delete them and anything that we want. So what I'm going to do in here is just add two vertices, 2 points in here, and just delete these 2 points. And now you see that we don't have any open shapes. It's just closing down. It's just like shrinking down the actual rectangle. To have this, to have an open shape, you have to just select these 2 points and right click, mask and shape pad, and check off close. Now we have this kind of shape with no lines in here. It's just an open shape. Now let's select these 2 points and just make this a little bit longer like this. I think it's cool. And go to stroke, change this to round cap. It's looking nicer. Or just change the color of it to white. Put this in here. And now let's copy this and change the direction of it. Ctrl D for duplicate, and go to rectangle, transform, scale, and in scale I'm going to just type minus 100. Now we have the exact same size in other direction, but we need to tweak it a little bit. Tweak it because like this, it's looking cool. But I think this here, it's a little bit, yeah, now it's cool. So now we have our shape, our main tile shape. What I'm going to do in here is just add a trim pad to start animating them. The first trim pad should be in rectangle 1, and go to rectangle 1, this shape, and start animating that. So for animating, so now let's just start animating that. We want to animate this with a starting point. So create a keyframe, go a little bit farther away, and put this back to 0. Now we have this kind of animation. It's good, but it's not dynamic. It's a little bit crispy. We can use in here another tool from Animation Composer that I told you guys in Window Keyframe Wingman that helps you to just create a very smooth animation in short amount of time. Just select your keyframe and just click in here. Now they are easy ease, and just give it a little bit energy like graph editor, and you see that it's very cool without just manually doing that in graph editor. So this one is complete, and let's do the same thing but in another direction. We want to just animate that with the start in here. Create a keyframe, go farther away in here, and put this to 0, and do the same thing. Now you see that we have this kind of animation. It's very cool. You see that it was possible to do the same things, for example, the same animation for this one as well, but when you change the direction of two elements, for example, this line is coming from this side and this one is from another side, it just gives your element a little bit of a variation. It's kind of variation to your elements, and it looks very cool, and that is very nice. And now let's just duplicate them, scale it down, the first one, and start tweaking a little bit, because we just want this line to act as an motion element. We don't want to see this one. We don't want this to stack on the screen. What I'm going to do in here is just animate the endpoint as well, because we don't want this line to stack. We want to just come and go off this from screen. Do the same thing in here for this. And now if I play this, you see that it just take our animation to the next level. Do the same thing for the other side as well, and duplicate that and scale it down, and stroke. Let me check our value in here. That was 7, and put this 7 as well. And in trim pad, let's animate that with end like this, and do the same thing, keyframe wingman. And now if I play this, you see that it's looking very cool. And now let's just organize them in folders. Create a group, put this one in one group, create another group, put these one in this group. So now we have our main tiles like this. So very nice. So let's create our quads signs in here. And for this, I'm going to just create a text sign in here. You see that In Lake Gothic font, this sign is not looking cool. We can change that. I just found a very cool font in here that's comes with After Effects. You can just put this. You can use this font, and also now what I'm going to do in here, just convert this text to shape. And why I'm going to do that, because it gives us a little bit flexibility when we want to change some things, when we want to change path or things like that. It gives us a little bit flexibility. So create shape from text, and now we have this shape in here, and just scale it down and put in this side, the top, and duplicate that. Put this in here and go to scale, just minus 68, like this, and you see that very easily we have our quad signs in here, and they're looking cool. Now let's start animating them. For animation, I'm using scale and position. So let's create keyframes, put this further away, and scale it down and animate it in this direction. Select them, keyframe wingspan, and easy ease. Give it a little bit like this. You see that. It's cool. And also you can add some rotation as well to make it look nicer. This, very nice. You see that. And put this in here, and do the same thing for this one as well. Create keyframes, put in here, and scale them down, and in this now in this direction, and rotation. So select all of them and make them smooth. Now if I play this, you see that they're looking very cool. And if I put this a little bit, very cool. So now we have our lines and quads, and now let's create a null object, parent them to this null object, and put it in the center, scale it down a little bit, and now let's put our tile in here, main tiles. So the first tile is our main tile in here, scale it down, put this in here, the other name, like this in here, and go to the main title composition, and now it's time to animate our text. For animation, as I mentioned, we are using Animation Composer presets. Because why? Because it's free, because it's dynamic, and it saves a lot of time. So for transition presets, go to toggle down the transition presets, and show the preview grade panel. And for this, let's check out which one is good. Let's find a preset that matches our tiles in here, like this. And this one is cool. As you can see, I've used this one, for example, as well. From bottom, just reveal it down and close it. Close this window. Now you see that it's revealing in this window. And select your tile, select your text, just drag it in as an in animation. If you want this to be in the out animation, you can just drag it in and out, but we want this to be in animation, act as an in animation. And now, simply, with just one click, if I play this, you see that we have this kind of animation, and it's very cool. You can just change the speed of it by changing the position of this trigger marker, like this. And you see, and in here you can change the rotation, you can change a bunch of things like position, but we don't want that. It's looking cool. Now if I play this, you see that. As you can see, we have a little bit cut out in here, and I don't want to see that for this because our composition size is smaller. Let's just change our composition size a little bit in width and height to give it a little bit of space. If I go back and check a little bit more, now it's looking cool because I want this line to act as a mask, for these text here. If I play this, you see that. I think it's a little bit slow. Change the trigger. Very nice. Maybe. Yes, and now it is time to animate this text. And for this, I want to add a simple animation from this one, like this one, and change this to the top. Reveal, and add this as an animation. If I go to quartile or main composition, change the position of it, put this in half. If I take a quick preview, you see that. You see how cool is this? With just some clicks and in a short amount of time, we have created a very nice animation. Let's just change the color of them. Effects and presets. Why we're doing that? Because it's now looking cool. It's all white. As I mentioned on our previous lesson, as a rule, it's good to give these elements a little bit contrast. For example, I want to add a fill in our main tile in here and change this to something like this, like an older style, and copy this and paste the in both of these signs, Control V, and now you see that. Now it's looking a little bit cool, and you feel a little bit contrast between them, and it's finished. And the cool thing that I want to say that about this text, it's completely procedural. It's completely dynamic. For example, if you want to change something in this text, for example, to maybe the nice way, for example, changing something in this text. If I go to this our main composition, you see that nothing is changed. Animation is completely untouched, remains untouched, and also that is the cool thing about using Animation Composer, because Animation Composer presets are made up from expressions, and they doesn't have any keyframes. And also that is the benefit of putting your text, your main text, into separated pre-comps. And also I want to mention that if you want to just rig these tiles, for example, changing colors very easily without going to each layers and finding the colors, you can do that simply. I want to do that as an example. Just add a color controller, type color controller in here in expression controller, and add this to your null object. And for example, this is our main text color. And lock this down and go to main title, go to effect and fill, and alt and click on color, and choose this pick whip and choose this color from your main text color, your color controller. And as you can see, the color has changed, and now we can control just unlock this we can control this by this eyedropper, and we can change its color. As you can see, it's very it's a good idea to rig them all out, because when you have some project, some kind of project, maybe you're a freelancer, you have a short amount of deadline, you can't do that. You can waste your time. It's a good idea to just rig them out if your client wants to change the color, or if you have some revision. Okay, that was from our tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please don't forget to subscribe and check out other Polygon motions tutorial. There are lots of tutorials on motion design, on After Effects, tips and tricks, UI design, and different other things. And my name is Jashir. See you guys next time.